back to another episode of Another Pokemon Podcast. My name is Galutrad.
And my name is Bex.
And today we are going to be doing a part 2 to our part 1 episode that released last time.
That's fine.
Which is going to be all about Ho-Oh, Lugia, and Celebi, the remaining mythical and legendary Pokemon from the Johto region.
Yeah, on the last episode we talked about the legendary dogs, and now we're going to talk about the flying ones.
Yeah, they do all fly.
Yeah.
That is true.
True.
Yeah, but before we get into that, Bex, how are you doing?
I'm good. I've been playing Arkham games still.
You've been really knocking out the Batman games.
Really knocking them out. I'm on Arkham Knight right now, and I'm pretty close to the end. I think I'm pretty close.
Yeah, I was watching you play last night, and I think that you are at a point. I'm fairly certain that the game was like, hey, you can go to the end of the game, but you could also spend time cleaning up all the side missions if you'd like. Mm-hmm. So, I feel like the next story mission that you do will start the end of the game.
Yeah, I had to clarify that I can still do the side missions after the game, and I can. I Googled that today just to, in the safest way I could. But yeah, it's been really good. I definitely encourage anyone that hasn't given those games a try. They're a pretty solid series. I've really enjoyed Night and Asylum probably the most, but I like them so far and still have Origins to play.
Yeah. Well, cool.
How about you?
I've been doing well. I've been playing Pragmata quite a bit. I'm trying to wrap that up before this new Yoshi game comes out, and then also, of course, playing a little bit of Pokemon Heart Gold as I can from time to time.
Right.
And then the new season, quote unquote, the new series, I guess, of Pokemon VGC started on Pokemon Champions. The new month has started, so there's new unlockables to do, and I'm excited to dive into that. But mostly my free time when I get it has been dedicated to playing Pragmata, and my gosh, what a fantastic game. Yeah. I have really enjoying it.
It looks like it would be too challenging for my comfort level. I don't know if there's difficulty settings or not.
There is, and I'm pretty sure I'm playing on normal.
Yeah.
So I think there's an easy
one for me, personally, just because I'm not very good at Galutrad was cracking up at me last night because I was driving my Batmobile around and things were trying to take me out constantly. And I was quite literally going, no, and driving far away and trying to escape. So I don't do well under pressure.
my favorite was the missiles would lock on and you just go, no missile lock on.
No, you do. It'd be like, I see you, Batman. No, you don't.
Yeah.
That's my favorite thing to do is you do not see me. You think you do.
Talking smack to the NPCs.
Yep.
Well, cool. Speaking of talking smack to the NPCs,
what is that?
We are going to not talk smack to our wonderful listeners and do some listener feedback.
We should not do that anyway.
But yeah, so Bex, do you want to go ahead and read these first 2 comments that we've got here for listener feedback this week?
Yeah. Over on Patreon on our Back to Normal episode, Coconut said, ugh, I love those theories like the Kamala one. Happy to hear y'all back in action. Here's to Mega Evolved Cyclops Woobat in Pokemon ZA. Yeah, I know.
If only there was
a
Mega Evolved Cyclops Woobat.
It'd
be Swoobat, but...
It did make me feel better because we were in the car with your mom recently, and she said, I thought it was a Cyclops too.
She doesn't count.
She does. And I was like, thank goodness.
Hi, Mom Latrad. I know you're listening.
That's confirmation. What was the...
Oh, yeah, the Kamala. So I believe it's the fact that Kamala, the log that it's holding
That's what
blinks.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I was reading that and I read that and I was like, what theories? I'm sure they were great, but what theories?
Yeah.
So, that was cool. The log being the Pokemon was a really neat one. Thank you, Coconut, for commenting that.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Over on Spotify, don't eat the crust. That's a funny That's a funny username.
Yes.
Don't Eat the Crust commented and said, and it was also on Back to Normal, ironically enough, and said, "Hi, Bex and Galutrad, huge fan. I love that podcast and excited for this new season finally. Yes, my favorite normal type is Kangaskhan, and I'm a 100% Team Victory Bell."
Yeah.
That's why you wanted me to read this one?
No.
Because it's for you. Bellsprout is one of my favorite Pokemon ever.
Bellsprout is an awesome Pokemon.
And you know what?
You're correct for that.
You know what? Don't Eat the Crust. To each their own. Like, I think that's great. I'm a little sad, but I think it's great.
a little bit of potential listener lore here. I wonder, I need to know, Don't Eat the Crust and Cheese's Crust, if you're out there, are you the same person? Did you change your username on Spotify, or is there a Cheese's Crust and a Don't Eat the Crust that are like combatant against each other?
Maybe Don't Eat the Crust would eat the crust if it was cheese.
If it was Cheese's Crust.
Could be.
Yeah.
Because when I was a kid, I did not like to eat the crust on my sandwiches.
Yeah.
They were normal sandwiches.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
And I know
I've never been that way.
I know 3 adults that don't like pizza crust. They just leave it. One of them is listening right now.
That's crazy.
I guarantee it.
That's crazy.
Or at least he didn't used to.
Yeah.
That's the only clue I'm giving is that it's a he. But people don't be liking crust. That's fine.
It's just bread.
I mean, I eat it. I'm not one of those people now. Like, but I just, it's each their own. Everyone has their preferences.
Sandwich crust. I kind of understand pizza crust. There's like a part of me that gets it because it's like
bad pizza crust.
It's just bread.
If it's
when
bad,
it's like
though,
not the sauce.
Like last night when we had pizza, we had New York style pizza. Pizza crust is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Eat the whole thing.
Yeah.
When it's not good though, like some of the chains, I would say, just dry or whatever, just toss it. Anyways, that is back to another episode of Another Crust Podcast. That's what we were doing
That's right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Don't Eat the Crust. And Kangaskhan is a good choice. I think Kangaskhan's cute. My only grief with Kangaskhan ever has been just that the mega evolution I felt like could have been more.
It's so good. I love Mega Kangaskhan.
And Galutrad disagrees. So like I said, each their own.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
We are on the same wavelength. Don't Eat the Crust. We are on the same wavelength.
Except about crust.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's true, because I do eat the crust. Next up, over on Instagram, from user Haynes Nathan, on A Ghastly Ghoulish Time episode, which is all about our favorite ghost types. But Haynes Nathan says, Ghost was never a contender for a lot of playthroughs, but Dusclops and Palosand were heavy hitters for Emerald and Moon for me. Number 1 is the Dapper Boy Decidueye. Always forget he gets the ghost type when he evolves. He does, and that honestly kind of makes him cooler in my eyes than any of the other starters from the Alola region. But those are good. Palosand is an awesome pick, as shared. I like Palosand a lot, and it's creepy as heck. Dusclops is one of those that, like, I guess I get it.
I really liked Duskull.
Yeah.
And I really like
Dusknoir,
but I'm not a huge Dusclops person, and I definitely was in the Hoenn. I saw not Ghastly.
Duskull.
I saw Duskull and I was like, baby.
Yeah.
And I got the baby. And I know how that works. Baby does not always stay baby.
Yeah.
But I was like, when it evolved Dusclops, I was like, no.
Yeah.
Why is he scary?
I think Dusknoir is the third evolution, right?
Yeah.
I think the problem with that I have with Dusclops is that he kind of looks like,
isn't he like a Cyclops mummy?
Yeah,
type
but
thing?
he almost looks like a mummy Beware. His bottom half, because he's got like big thick legs.
He's chunky.
He's very like stuffed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like, it's a solid choice though. Palosand is really cool too. And Decidueye is so neat, and I never ever think of him for ghost types.
Yeah.
And then that's why is because he's
the grass starter. So
like a lot of Pokemon, he inherits like a second typing only in the final one,
Yeah.
and so I forget. But yeah. Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Haynes Nathan, for that comment. And then finally today, over on Spotify, from user August, on our What a Shock episode, which was all about
water Pokemon.
Exactly. Yeah. All about electric type Pokemon. August says, I just have one or two things to say. One, electric types are not weak against dragon types. Second, they are not weak against themselves. And third, they are not weak to grass. P.S. Love the podcast, not trying to be rude. And then a bunch of red heart and white heart emojis. And August, I totally get it. You are not being rude at all. I very well may have misspoke there. What I was trying to comment on what electric types are weak to when they are resisted by. That's the word. What they're resisted by when you attack with them.
Yeah.
Dragon, grass, and electric are resistant against electric type moves. But yeah, no, thank you so much. We always appreciate, especially constructive criticism like that, where you're just trying to fact check us and things like that. Always appreciate, we're people, we're going to get stuff wrong, or, maybe even because Pokemon's been going on for so long, we might mention something that has changed since the episode has come out.
Right. That's true.
So not too long ago, a bunch of Pokemon that now have a fairy type didn't have fairy type.
Right. And stuff changes. And when we go back and play older games too, it is weird stepping back into an older game and like not having the fairy type, or maybe it was back when levitate wasn't a thing, or it's just that the games have evolved a lot.
Back when Gengar had levitate and was awesome, and now it doesn't have levitate anymore.
He's standing on the ground.
I know, it's sad. But yeah, no, we always appreciate it. Thank you so much for commenting on the episode. And yeah, hopefully that clarified that a little bit. And I haven't gone back and listened to the episode in a while, so I very well may have said that in a very confusing manner. But that was what I was trying to say. All right. Well, thank you to everybody for giving us comments and love. We always appreciate the listener feedback.
Thank you.
Hype. If you also want to get on our episode via the listener feedback section, you can reach out to us on our social media platforms, which are Blue Sky, X, Threads, Instagram, and TikTok. We are Another PKMN Pod. You can also check us out on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, those previous two. We really, really appreciate the 5-star reviews, especially Apple Podcasts. Or you can go over to our website, anotherpokemonpodcast.com, and listen to the episodes there and leave comments and feedback there as well. Lots of ways to get in touch with us, and we keep track of all of them. We comment on, or we read, and eventually plan to respond to all of them via these listener feedback sections. So we really, really appreciate it. It warms our hearts and keeps reminding us why this podcast is so much fun and keeps us going.
Yeah, feedback.
Yeah,
podcast.
Yeah, so this is part 2. I'm going to go over Lugia, Ho-Oh, and Celebi, a.k.a. Hands, Feathers, and Onions.
I hate it.
And I hope y'all maybe will learn something new, maybe not. Maybe we've known everything, but just kind of trying to give a decent overview of each of the
everything.
Pokemon. Yeah, okay. So first off, we're gonna actually start with
the onion.
With the onions, yeah.
Wow.
We're gonna chop some onions up, make ourselves cry a little bit. No, we're gonna start with Celebi, aka the time travel Pokemon. So let's go over the basics first. Celebi is Pokedex number 251. It is a psychic and grass type Pokemon, and it has the ability Natural Cure.
Mm-hmm.
Being a mythical Pokemon, it has a base stat total of 600, which is 100 across all stats. That's typical for mythical Pokemon. Celebi is a green fairy-like Pokemon. It has round, toeless feet, 3-fingered hands, and clear wings on its back. Its head comes to a curved point, being round at the base, thus giving it a kind of green onion type of look. Also, its coloring. And it has large baby blue eyes with thick black rings around them and a pair of green antennae on the top. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Celebi.
Antenna.
Yeah. Here, I have a picture. See?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. I thought you meant out of the little swirl. There were antennas, and I was like, does it?
No, it's up near the eyes.
It's all good.
Yeah, and Celebi very, very much so looks like an onion. To me, at least. I'm sure that I'm not the only person in the world that has.
Looks like the end of like a green onion.
Yes, yeah, for sure. So Celebi is essentially the Wanderer of Time. It is a mythical Pokemon that travels across time. However, it is said to only appear during peaceful times, sort of acting as a symbol of a bright and shining future.
Isn't there another Pokemon that's like that?
There's probably several.
Okay.
They're based off of region, right? So
I
they
feel
share
like Mew
kind
is
of a
like that.
Yeah.
When we did,
I don't think so. I don't think Mew is.
There's one that we've definitely talked about recently that said that it was like it only showed up when things were calm.
Well, I mean, Suicune, I think, is similar to that.
It wasn't on the last one though.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember. I truly don't remember, but I remember specifically sharing about a Pokemon and saying that it only showed up when things were peaceful, which meant when it did show up, something was wrong.
Yeah.
Like it was known as an
Well,
omen.
Absol.
It was Absol. That's right. Okay. And we did talk about Absol quite a bit.
Yes,
in one of our episodes.
Yes, but this is more like a peaceful return to nature, because Celebi is also known as the voice of the forest. Celebi is heavily associated with nature. Wherever Celebi appears, things like grass, trees, and forests flourish abundantly.
Oh, cool.
It is known to dwell deep within lush areas like the Ilex forest in the Johto region.
You say Elex?
Yeah,
I say Ilex.
Oh, I say Elex.
I think...
it could be either or.
I think my little kid brain was like IKEA.
Yeah. Because of that, Celebi is often associated heavily with nature, which makes a whole lot of sense. Celebi is, in fact, has throughout the Pokemon series has shown different abilities that allow it to restore nature whenever it is brought to the brink of destruction. A very interesting piece of lore from the Pokemon Silver Pokedex states that when Celebi disappears deep into a forest, it leaves behind an egg that is brought from the future. So kind of a little bit of a paradox, time travel paradox thing, where because Celebi can travel through time, Celebi then could potentially bring back the egg of like a future Celebi in order to allow for the forest to be maintained and beautiful. So
wouldn't that make more sense if it went back to the past to get an egg, like its own egg?
Well, but then you'd really have a paradox where it's not born.
I'm saying.
I mean, either way, kind of, because
Okay.
it's what I was saying was that it brings back this egg for a future Celebi that then maintains the forest so that it is in a state so that its own egg can be born.
Oh, that's a lot to unpack. Okay.
Often paired with Celebi is the GS ball, which was introduced within the anime, but specifically within Generation 2, the Generation 2 games, and more specifically within Pokemon Crystal. Celebi is tied to the mysterious GS ball due to an event in Japan where I think it was part of like a mobile corporation. They partnered with Pokemon to link your game to get a GS ball, and then you would take it to Kurt, who would work on it for a day and then eventually take it to the Elex shrine so that you could capture a level 30 Celebi.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Which was never made available originally in Pokemon Crystal in the US. However, with the Pokemon Crystal 3DS re-release, that event is finally available to people outside of Japan.
Right.
Which is super cool.
Right.
Speaking of that shrine, in Pokemon Gold and Silver, the mysterious shrine in the Elex Forest sparked a massive amount of real-world rumors that players could use it to catch Celebi, often involving things like bringing the Rainbow Feather or the Silver Wings to it. According to the Game Freak staff, that was a complete coincidence after they had come out with Pokemon Crystal. The shrine was originally placed there by designer, and I apologize if I get this name wrong, but Hironobu Yoshida. He simply put it there as a background texture in order to spice up the land of Elex Forest to make it a little interesting.
Yeah.
So a lot like the truck, even though that has a different story, but the truck in Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow.
Yeah.
But yeah, Game Freak had no idea where that rumor originally came from, but they actually made it a thing in the Crystal remakes and then later in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. It's
kind of like how Pokemon listens to us and makes things happen that we say.
Yeah, like Pokopia.
Right.
Yeah. And then something else that I wanted to talk about. So you kind of briefly touched on this in your Suicune section because Celebi and Suicune share a movie, which is Pokemon Forever, and in I think at least outside of Japan, I know for sure in the US, but its subtitle is actually Celebi, the Voice of the Forest, in which the whole movie kind of starts off where a Pokemon poacher was after Celebi, because it is a rare and mythical Pokemon. And in order to escape capture, it actually traveled 40 years into the future, accidentally taking a young boy who has a massive interest in studying Pokemon named Sam along with it by accident. In the future, there is a new man who goes by the name of the Iron Masked Marauder, and he eventually catches Celebi in a dark ball, which is a custom ball for the movie, I believe, and then uses it to destroy the forest. However, Ash and Sam work together and manage to snap Celebi out of the sort of spell that it is under, because it's very like it looks kind of zombified almost, where it's like it doesn't do what it's normally doing in order to save the forest. And then eventually Celebi returns to the past with Sam in tow. And then I didn't actually know this one because we haven't watched the movie yet, but in Zoroark Master of Illusions, a character named Grings Kodai was after Celebi's time ripple, which is its ability to go through time, in order to restore that person's ability to see the future, which he originally got from a previous encounter with it. It then befriended Zorua and helped save Zoroark after Celebi was mortally injured. But that's a shiny Celebi.
Yeah.
As I understand it from the images. I don't know if I'm being lied to by these images online because I haven't seen the movie yet. But now I'm really interested in seeing it. Seems like it's got a really cool plot.
That would make sense because I'm pretty sure that's the movie that the shiny Entei, Suicune, and Raikou are part of.
Poor Raikou. Always forgotten.
I know. But they're part of the guardians of the city in that movie. I'm pretty sure that's the one that they're in.
Yeah.
Must be a shiny phenomenon in that movie.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess so. But shiny Celebi is pink all over. Very
super
cute. Very cute.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I've got on Celebi.
I love that.
So why don't we go ahead and we will take a quick break.
Cake break.
And then when we come back, we will talk about the legendary tower duo. I almost said tower trio. That is not the same.
3 of them.
Nope,
No.
There's a different tower trio. But we were talking about the legendary tower duo, Ho-Oh and Lugia.
Yay.
All right.
Hands
and feathers.
Hi, I'm David.
And I'm Katie.
And we'd like to tell you about our show, Another Zelda Podcast. Whether you've been playing Zelda games from the beginning,
or just started with Breath of the Wild, we have something for everyone.
From deep dives into how the games are made, review episodes.
We even make top 10 lists and do a bit of music talk.
That's right. If it's about The Legend of Zelda, we cover it. Listen to Another Zelda Podcast wherever you get your podcasts.
We'll see you there.
And we're back.
Welcome back.
We did not have a cake break. We just checked on our rice and then continued recording.
No cake.
No cake. So, you know who probably likes cake?
This is the worst segue ever. He doesn't.
Let's talk about the rainbow Pokemon.
It doesn't like cake. It's
Ho-Oh.
a bird. It likes seeds.
Probably.
And berries.
Yeah. Ho-Oh, National Dex number 250. It is a fire and flying type Pokemon. It has the abilities Pressure and then the hidden ability Regenerator. And then its base stat total is 680, which is heavily weighted towards special defense and attack. So it's a pretty beefy special defense, beefy, and then physically offensive Pokemon. Ho-Oh is an avian Pokemon resembling a phoenix and a peacock. Its feathers are predominantly gold and red with yellow tail feathers. Ho-Oh has a green stripe on its neck, a yellow beak, black rings around its red eyes, and a feathered yellow crest on its head.
I have never once looked at that warm-colored Pokemon and thought, you know what that is? A peacock.
Well, I imagine if you see pictures of it like standing or like perched,
and its little thing,
and its tail probably fans out a little bit more. Nobody could see,
but I was talking about it's like floof on its head.
The crest.
Kind of peacocky looking.
The crest on its head.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Ho-Oh's wings are prismatic, causing it to trail a rainbow behind it when it flies around.
Very pretty.
It has darkly colored feet and legs with 4 toes and long talons. And it has feathers and wings like a proper bird. Ho-Oh is the guardian of the skies, which does make sense for both fire and flying, i.e. the sun. Residing at the foot of a rainbow, potentially, and continuously flying the world skies. Famously, Ho-Oh was revealed, I was going to say at least to the West, but definitely to everyone, because even if Japan got Pokemon the anime earlier than we did, they did not get, I know they did, but they did not get Pokemon Gold and Silver and Crystal earlier than the anime.
Yeah, they planned Ho for a while.
Yeah, Ho-Oh's been around for a while because famously Ash sees it in the very first episode of the anime.
Right.
Doesn't know what it is. I think eventually, in episode 2, he's like, oh, it must be this Articuno that's up on the wall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember that one, but I do remember him flying overhead is like a beacon of hope.
Yeah, and staying in the movie path, Ho-Oh actually does later on the movie Pokemon I Choose You, which is kind of like a dramatic cinematic retelling of Ash's introduction to the Pokemon world, where we get a better information around Ho-Oh, where a lot of that movie is spent working to get to meet and see Ho-Oh.
Right.
So super, super cool there. Ho-Oh is very much a phoenix. It is heavily inspired by the mythological phoenix. Its feathers glow in 7 colors, depending on how light strikes them, and it is said to leave a rainbow in its wake, which I already talked about a little bit. The lore that anyone lucky enough to witness Ho-Oh is promised eternal happiness.
Yeah.
Which is a common theory as to why Ash never grows old.
Is it a child?
Yep.
The happiness of youth.
Yeah. Ho-Oh, much like Lugia, which we'll get into later, is a trio master. Ho-Oh is the trio master, as Bex mentioned, of the legendary beasts Raikou, Entei, and Suicune, according to Johto lore. When the Brass Tower in Ekritique City burned down, 3 nameless Pokemon, possibly evolutions, perished in the flames, and Ho-Oh resurrected them, giving them powers representing the lightning that struck the tower in Raikou, the fire that burned it in Entei, and the rain that put it out in Suicune. If you don't know all of that, go back and listen to our previous episode, part 1 of this, because Bex did an excellent job going over it.
I did.
This felt really familiar to me, and I almost wonder, when I read about this bird, I feel like you brought it up when you were talking about Moltres.
Oh, okay.
Originally, but the I apologize if I butcher this. The Fang Huang.
Oh, yes, that was what Moltres was based on.
Has positive connotations with Ho-Oh. It is a symbol of virtue and grace, and it symbolizes the union of yin and yang, kind of similar to how Ho-Oh and Lugia are opposite. So the Fang Huang is also very much like kind of where a lot of belief around phoenixes and like lore around phoenixes stem from as well. So while Moltres, it's quite possible, being that they're both fire-flying birds, that they are both based off of, or like kind of take loosely take design influences from that mythical creature.
Oh no, I did not say what you said.
Really?
Moltres, from my notes, was inspired by the phoenix and also could have taken inspiration from the Slavic firebird or the Egyptian Bennu.
Ah, okay.
So the bird that Moltres is based on is literally a bird that is on a fire.
Yeah.
It looks like the Feng Huang is just a beautiful bird that has like fire powers.
Okay.
Or at least that's what I'm guessing it does, or sun powers or something. And that is Chinese.
Okay, yeah.
In its making.
And then so what's more interesting to me than Ho-Oh, the Pokemon, is actually more around the tower that Ho-Oh is found in, the Tin Tower or the Bell Tower, because there's a real world pagoda it's based off of that I guess that's the belief. I think maybe that's been proven. So Ho-Oh's in-game resting place, the Tin Tower or the Bell Tower, mirrors a real-world temple known as Kinkaku-ji, which is the Golden Pavilion in Kyoto. And this tower, very famous. There's a temple at the tower where the rooftop actually has a golden phoenix statue sitting on top of it, and it's believed that was directly inspired the legendary Pokemon Ho-Oh. I've heard, we've not ever been, would love to go, but I've heard that if you try to go get a picture of this tower, it is very crowded because it's not only is it just beautiful in general, but also, it's also crowded where you probably could meet Pokemon fans there. People that go to Japan that like Pokemon tend to, I guess, like to get a picture of this tower.
That's cool.
And it not only that, but it so much so mirrors the in-game towers because Kinkaku-ji was destroyed in 1950 by fire, and it was rebuilt, which parallels the burned tower of Ekritik.
So do we know why? In your research, did you find out why it's the Bell Tower or the Tin Tower?
No.
But do we think it's that? Do you think it got destroyed or it was just the burned tower destroyed?
Just the burned tower was destroyed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, I just, definitely, if ever we get the opportunity to go to Japan, gotta go see this tower, the Kinkaku-ji. So yeah, Ho-Oh's got a lot of really cool real world connotation to it, which I think is super interesting.
Yeah.
And then finally, let's talk about the boy with hands. The Pokemon with hands when it is in fact
the greatest legendary Pokemon of all time who has hands. It's probably hands because he's a dragon, so it's
yeah, that is
rar. You know what I mean? Like
no, and you are correct. So this is I'd like to make a public statement. No, not an apology. It still has hands, and I'm never letting that die. But if those of you who are accustomed to the Another Pokemon Podcast lore, when this originally came about, the reason that I picked gold over silver is because back when those games came out and my little kid mind saw the two, what he could only perceive as birds,
right? Not
dragon and bird, just two birds, saw hands. And so he was like, birds don't have hands. They've got feathers and wings. But now that I know that it is a dragon, that makes more sense.
Technically, they can grab things with their feet.
They can, and that's okay. But he doesn't even have claws. He's really what this is that I am a dumb kid and did not realize that it was not a bird; it was a dragon. The diving Pokemon. That's what we're talking about. Lugia, National Dex number 249. It is a psychic and flying type. That's a weird one. We'll get into that. It has the abilities Pressure and Multiscale, and it has a base stat total of 680 as well.
What is Multiscale?
Multiscale, I believe, without looking it up, makes it to where the first attack that you take when you get hit deals less damage than normal because you are at full HP. So it has to go through your scales.
Huh. It's a weird one.
Yeah, Dragonite has it too, which is why I'm pretty sure that's what
I knew what pressure was because I see that when I'm playing against Pokemon. It's like it's exerting its pressure.
Unlike Ho-Oh, who is specially defensive but does have a high attack stat, Lugia is mostly just a defensive Pokemon. Its stats are heavily weighted towards defense and special defense.
That's interesting. I figured it would be the opposite.
Well, it's got to have a lot of beef to calm down those birds.
Mm-hmm.
Weird that a dragon has to calm down birds with hands. I'll never get over it. You can never stop me. Lugia is a large Pokemon.
Woobat is a Cyclops then.
Lugia, no, because that's factually wrong. Lugia is a large Pokemon that resembles a dragon, a plesiosaur, and a bird. To me.
What's a plesiosaur? Must be
The
a type of dinosaur.
Yeah. Loch Ness Monster.
Sure.
Yeah. Nessie from Super Mario 64.
The swimming one.
Yeah.
Cute.
Yeah. It is primarily silver and white, but it does have blue undersides with slightly varying tones. It has a rigid mouth similar to a beak, although it has pointed teeth on its lower jaw. Its head has a point that goes to the back, and Lugia's eyes have pointed blue or black spikes on them. Lugia has a long, slender neck, streamlined body for swimming, and dark blue or black plates that protrude out from its back and run down the length of its back. And then there are 2 smaller ones on its tail, and it can actually flap those down like a jet engine to be more aerodynamic, or I guess water dynamic.
I haven't recovered from
hydrodynamic.
Teeth just on its lower jaw.
It do got 2 little teethies right on its lower
That's
jaw.
A weird. What does it eat?
I don't know.
Because you know how, like, scientifically you can use animals' teeth to determine what type of, like, they're herbivore or whatever.
Yeah,
well,
it just has 2 little teeth.
Omnivore, herbivore, or
yeah,
carnivore.
Not a canine.
But what kind of animal has 2 teethers?
I don't know.
And a beak.
Lugia does.
Interesting. Okay.
So, despite the fact that Lugia is known as the guardian of the seas, it is not a water type. It is just psychic and flying. I think it was probably given that title because it is the polar opposite of Ho-Oh, keeping in line with that yin and yang situation. Lugia has some devastating power, despite not being built stat-wise for power. Known as a gentle and highly intelligent Pokemon, Lugia isolates itself in deep-sea trenches. According to Pokedex entries, it chooses to sleep at the bottom of the ocean because its powers are too strong. A light fluttering of its wings is capable of blowing apart houses or causing a 40-day storm.
Jeez.
So remember when you were like, actually, it might have been me. One of us was like, I'd like to have Lugia to fly around.
It was me. It wouldn't have been you. Why would you have picked Lugia?
Congratulations on causing 40-day storms.
You have... This is like... Ho-Oh... No, hold on. Celebi, just sharing facts. Ho-Oh, just sharing facts. Lugia, complete roast from you. You just hate... You detest Lugia.
I do. It has an incredible ability to also calm raging storms, which is good. And it is said to only appear when a storm begins.
Maybe when it's flying me to work.
It's also calming down.
It's calming. Like, it can multitask. It can do both.
Sure.
Yeah. Right.
In broader Pokemon lore, such as the anime and movie spin-offs, Lugia is the master of the legendary bird trio, Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres. Looking at you, Pokemon the Movie 2000.
Oh, that's cool. I have watched the movie. I have played the games. I've played the games. It's never even occurred to me that Ho is the master of one trio and Lugia is the master of another trio, but that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so neat.
Super cool. It's interesting too. So I've hinted at this in previous episodes. Lugia has such an interesting backstory. So unlike almost every other Generation 2 Pokemon, and in fact, I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe just Pokemon in general, Lugia's origins do not actually come from Game Freak or the video games at all. Lugia was, in fact, originally created by Takeshi Shudo, specifically to be the star of the second Pokemon movie, and which he was either the director or the producer. He handled the Pokemon anime and was plotting its story. And
so he just made up a Pokemon?
He just made up Lugia.
That's crazy.
To the point where he was notably surprised. He had kept a document of writings of a journal of different things in his life, and then there's a great YouTube documentary on him, listeners. It's also a very sad documentary. He lived a pretty troubled life, but he notably from these kind of online journals that he kept, he was surprised when Game Freak decided to make Lugia the box legendary for Pokemon Silver. He was like, this is my Pokemon. I had no intentions of it being this thing that y'all were using. Yeah, so it's interesting because like Lugia is arguably the favorite of these three Pokemon, much like Suicune is the favorite of Entei and Raikou and Suicune, because Suicune and Lugia gets a lot of love. Talking about the etymology of Lugia's name, during the film's production, Lugia was simply referred to as Pokemon X, and apparently the name Lugia was chosen by a committee without any direct input from Takashi Shudo, according again to some of his memoirs. So it kind of interesting there where he didn't even have a name for it. That name, Pokemon X, kind of shows up again later in a Pokemon game, where in Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, we get a shadow variant version of Lugia, which is codenamed in the game XD001.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So like X Dark.
Yes. Yeah. I did find a few different ideas around where Lugia takes design inspiration from, including, this was the weirdest thing, and I looking at some of the like original sprite, this is just weird. So some of the ideas that Lugia may have taken design inspiration from include a beluga whale. That one makes sense. A Viking boat. Okay. And the ancient legend of Bahamut, which is sometimes described as both a giant fish and a dragon. Which that one, the Viking boat is what throws me.
I think it makes sense though, because it's like the hands. I'm gonna go back to the hands.
Yes,
they're a lot like.
Why wouldn't you?
They're a lot like oars.
Yes,
in a way.
Yeah, they are.
Because I was even saying that, although that's not how he swims.
No.
He swims like a missile.
Yes, which is why he has those little flaps that can be folded in.
Yeah.
To become more.
And maybe there's something that changes that you can like turn on and off to help Viking ships go faster, because they were fast.
Yes, they were notoriously fast.
Maybe we need to read up on our Viking ships.
Yeah.
And do another Viking ship podcast.
Lugia also, I'm not 100% sure on this. Listeners, please call me out on this, because I'm going to make a claim here based off of my very limited knowledge of the anime. But I'm pretty sure that Lugia is the only legendary Pokemon that has a child, which in the anime, Lugia has a smaller child Lugia called Silver. It's nicknamed Silver by a character named Oliver in the English version. This little Lugia, aka Silver, lives near Ogi Isle in the Whirl Islands in the anime. And I'm pretty sure that's the only Pokemon that has, not the only Pokemon, there's lots of Pokemon that have children. I'm pretty sure that's the only legendary Pokemon that has a child.
Yeah, I mean, it might be, unless you count Mewtwo.
Mew is Mewtwo's dad.
Oh, that's not a legendary, it's a mythical, so I don't know.
Mew is a mythical, yeah. And that like there's honestly, truly, there's so much more that I could get into.
A little
Lugia
sounds so cute.
It is very cute, admittedly. It's I mean, it's exactly what you're thinking. It's just a Lugia,
a baby
but
one,
smaller,
oh my goodness,
but scaled down.
Oh my goodness.
And I just want it, before we close out this episode, I just wanted noted that my final note on Lugia was that Lugia has hands.
But there's some interesting stuff about it. I think it's still a really cool Pokemon.
It is. I like to talk smack about it a lot just because it's funny to me.
Yeah.
Mostly for the shock factor, because I've never not told anyone that knows and likes Pokemon about the fact that Lugia has hands, and they're like, oh, I can't unsee it now.
It's also like the color scheme is really cool for Lugia. Like I think up until this point we hadn't had it. It's almost like unicorn colored almost, because it's got like the light periwinkle belly and the white, I don't know, fur scales, whatever they are.
I feel like the silver fur gives off that unicorn vibe, I think, a lot. Pokemon the movie 2000, it may be, we have to watch all of them, but maybe my favorite right now. It is definitely my favorite Pokemon
that you can
movie.
think of. Yeah.
So like, I do love Lugia.
Yeah.
I just like talking smack about its fingies.
It's a neat Pokemon. It's just like, it very much it fits the series really well, considering it was designed by someone who was not a Pokemon designer.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good balance with Ho-Oh. I think my only confusion is its stats, really, because it
is defensive.
Because it's so defensive.
Yeah.
And I would have thought Ho-Oh was defensive. I feel like that makes sense. I would have thought Lugia would be more special attack heavy. So that was interesting too. But no, I think they're cool. For some reason I don't know why. For some reason I knew a lot about the onion.
Huh.
Like I didn't learn a ton about the onion.
Yeah.
But Lugia I learned quite a bit about, and I would argue that that's my favorite of the three. So it's interesting.
Cool.
Very cool.
Yeah. But so that's it. That's what I've got to share today. I hope y'all enjoyed this part 2 of our mythical and legendary Pokemon of Johto little series here.
Yeah, and let us know if you liked part 1 better. Just kidding.
No, sure.
Just kidding.
Yeah. No. I'm being serious because I know that you and I. So we both research these episodes separately.
Yeah.
We have different methods for researching and different methods for note taking, and I would not be opposed to hearing if y'all appreciated Bex's research more.
I hope that you all enjoyed each episode. I hope you enjoy every episode we ever push, whether one of us is researching or not. And I hope you learn something new in both time.
We only have 3 more episodes left in season 2.
Wow.
And then we will take a 2-month break.
So we know what the last episode is.
We know what the last 2 episodes are, because the season finale is going to be our Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver kind of review episode. Mm-hmm. The penultimate episode will be episode 2, part 2 of our Pokemon Who's That Pokemon game challenge.
Oh yeah, the quiz. Yeah. Gosh.
That'll be fun.
I gotta prepare.
But not totally sure what the next episode's going to be about. We'll have to discuss that.
Figure it out, brainstorm. Yeah. Awesome. Well, this was a great journey through Johto together.
Yeah.
Through the mythical and legendaries.
It's got me hyped to keep playing more Heart Gold and Soul Silver. I want to go catch my Ho-Oh.
Oh, well, I'm going to be Batman for a little bit, but then I will get it together and play the game.
Yeah. Batman also has hands.
Yeah, and he should. Be hard to throw a Batarang without him. No, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing the research and for sharing your knowledge.
Yeah, and thank you so much again to all of y'all listeners. We really appreciate you. If you do ever want to get in touch with us, reach out to us at Another PKMN Pod on pretty much any social that you might be interested in, or check out our website, anotherpokemonpodcast.com, or leave a 5-star review over on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Check out our YouTube videos. Subscribe to twitch.tv/anotherpkmnpod.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't done it in a while, but it's on a very casual basis where I will sometimes go live with our Pokemon Crystal Shiny Badge quest.
Yep.
So you'll want to get notified when I go live with that. It's a pretty fun little setup we've got going on. I definitely have enjoyed the times that I have streamed it, so it'll be good. And we might be doing future streams there as well. So yeah. And other than that, I guess, get out.
Get out of here.
Before you rudely interrupted me there.